council, I was fortunate enough to have a few votes on the council who supported this. I think we all know in this room how many terrific reasons there are to make sure that we have a vibrant arts, culture, music, everything that is a manner of expressing who we are as a city, who we are as people within the city, and everything else. And I thought, why not tag this right in the middle of our governmental process in the city of Dana Point so we don't miss a thing, so that we can reach out to the community, so that when we're dealing with issues where arts, culture, music, all those sorts of things are integral parts of this and can be integral parts of it, why not tap the services and the expertise of 5 people who Karin just introduced, including herself, who can advise the city council on these issues? Because I have to tell you, the many years I served on the planning commission, when we were confronted with arts decisions, I have to be honest, there were some uneven results. There were some bad results. There are a lot of dolphin statues around town. They're kind of, they're lovely statues. If you counted them, you would find that Flipper would be very comfortable swimming from one end of town to the other. He'd meet all of his relatives with 6 degrees of separation. So the notion was let's create an arts and culture commission, and I'm going to give you a few specific examples of where I think they're going to be particularly helpful in the next 12 months here, and then sort of comment on what we're all doing here today. We're in the middle of developing a specific plan for Doheny Village. I think I've noticed a lot of faces who were at one of our kickoff meetings there this past November, and then also at our city council meeting earlier this year. I suspect, I am predicting that there's going to be a significant arts and culture component in that specific plan. I'm certainly hopeful that that's the case. I believe the Arts and Culture Commission is going to be, to use a bad pun, instrumental in coming up with appropriate advice on, the components that will help lay out a land use plan that will promote these, these particular arts and cultural components, and it will, in conjunction with the Planning Commission and the City Council's review and all the public hearings we're going to have on this thing, I think that we're going to have a plan that is second to none in Southern California, maybe California, certainly the Western United States. And if you don't think that that's an important function, if you don't think these 5 people are going to have a lot to do in that regard, think again. I think you're going to be attending a lot of hearings. I think you're going to hear a lot of debate, discussion, all that sort of thing, which is going to result in I think, a tremendous project out there. The second thing is, the city has recently applied for a grant from the National Endowment of the Arts. Anybody heard of that? Low-profile organization. And we are hopeful that we're going to procure that grant. And the grant is to develop a master art program for the city of Dana Point. How about, who would love to see that? Absolutely. And it is not an inexpensive, it is not a small amount of money that we have applied for. It is a very ambitious project. The Arts and Culture Commission will be front and center in going over that process and in making recommendations to the City Council as to the best way to spend and use that money. And I personally don't know of another jurisdiction here in Orange County, and I suspect there's not one in San Diego or LA County that is qualified for that grant. I need to check to make sure. But if that happens and comes to pass, we're going to have some very, very busy commission this year. So I couldn't be happier. The last thing is, like all busy people, they need help. And that's why we're all here in this room this morning, because the ideas that they can glean from the community, and I know I'm looking out on this group of people, and I recognize just about every single one of you, because over the years you've all been supportive of the arts, culture, history, everything in this city. And the purpose of today is to reach out to you folks and be as creative as you possibly can. While the Arts and Culture Commission isn't in the position to approve, create, and fund projects, it is truly the wellspring of all the ideas that will ultimately come up to decision points on that. And I cannot tell you how important it is each and every one of you think about walking, driving, bicycling downtown, what you'd like to see, what you'd like to feel, what you'd like to read, how you would like to present the city to the rest of the world. We have a fantastic tourism industry in the city that's only going to get better and better. I believe arts and culture is going to be a very, very important part of that. So it is the beginning point of how we shape that vision. And I would say that every single person at every single table here is going to have something phenomenally important to say before this day is over. So don't hold back. Don't be shy. Don't worry about filling out the proper form. Don't worry about be as bold as you possibly can. Help our commissioners do the great job I know they're going to do for the city of Dana Point. I'm really excited to see the results. Thank you again.
Thank you again, Scott. Again, it's nice to see everybody come out and to be involved. Just a few things that I would like to begin with. Just thank Jim Miller, Coffee Importers, of course, donating the coffee today. And thanks to those of you that brought the wonderful goodies for us. Thank you. And also want to acknowledge the facility here at the Ocean Institute to let us use this wonderful space today, and also make sure that you acknowledge the wonderful artwork that's on the wall by Susan McCloy, and she is a local artist. And I know I appreciate the fact that the Ocean Institute is, as an educational museum and facility, also really showcases the artwork really well too, the visual arts. So, also as a thing, I realize we're also very fortunate today to have our city manager, Doug Chuckoby is here today. So please thank you for coming out on a Saturday morning. I appreciate that very much, and without, again, all of your support for the arts in the city, we're very, very lucky to have you. So I'm going to very quickly kind of just set the stage on what we're going to do today. You know, we've all been involved in the arts possibly in a lot of different ways. What is really wonderful is each of you brings to the table your own experiences, your travels, your experiences within cities that you've lived, and kind of what you would like to see to bring to this city. So that's why it's good to have you all here, so that we do have this variety. Now, you also have, we put up here in these wonderful fluorescent green things. When we use the word arts, a lot of people will maybe initially they think visual arts. But we're using this in a lot of different areas. We're talking about theater, visual arts, dance, literary arts. You know, we gotta be inclusive of all these things and reach out. Architecture, music, which we had this morning, historical, cultural, culinary arts, floral arts. There's a lot of, maybe there's some up there that we haven't included that will come out from our discussion today. But what I want to have all of you is to open it up and think of all the different things, to be more inclusive of everything, because that'll help make our city a lot more richer culturally for our community as residents here, and also for the broad community and our visitors coming into our city, which, as Scott mentioned, is also part of our direction is the tourism part here. So what we're going to do today is we want you to talk about kind of short-term ideas of things we could do, and long term. We gotta be realistic, and I got you know, some of the things are gonna be definitely a long term sort of way of looking. But I want you to think about, what do you wanna, the obvious thing is see, what would you like to hear? And also, think about the other part of participating. A lot of what drives a lot of people within any city, any community, is participation. Could be you're participating as an audience, or you're participating in actually creating or acting or doing yourself. Do you want to, have classes or be part of any musical presentation, theatrical presentation? Do we want the education part? The education part is also crucial, and I cannot go without saying it. That's kind of the basis of all of this work that we're doing today. So just trying to get you guys all thinking. You'll hear me say it a lot. We're trying to set the stage to get you going. Now, I'm going to introduce really our key staff liaison with the Arts and Culture Commission. We are very fortunate to be working with Kevin Evans, who is the Director of Community Services and Parks here in the city. And I know over the years in a variety of capacities that I personally have worked with Kevin quite a bit. So now that I've set the stage, and Alan is doing such a good job, thank you, Alan. We are going to begin how we're going to work with all of you today. There's food and drinks in the back. Be flexible about that. Restrooms are right at the door over there. And with that, Kevin. Thank you.
To make it real easy, we're going to need to consolidate on the tables. We have 5 easels, we have 5 staff, and we have 5 commissioners. So if I can have the staff go to each one of the easels, and if I can have the commissioners strategically place themselves somewhere near one of the easels. And then those of you that are not near an easel, if you could please relocate your seats to one of those tables, and we'll be able to get going with our forum.
Good morning, everybody. How are you, Ray? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. You bet. I'm here, man. It's the social table. Not gonna happen.
Okay, so it's not my